You speak French.
Ma langue est le français, je rêve et je pense en français.
J'ai tendance à valoriser les gens. Je les valorise en les écoutant, en montant leur...
Ça fait partie de la culture, c'est une langue étrange que la langue de la culture.
La culture, c'est ce qui répond à l'homme quand il se demande ce qu'il fait sur la terre.
Les cultures doivent se parler.
C'est la diversité.
C'est la vie.
Welcome to Glimpses on the Night of Ideas, a podcast presented by the Alliances Françaises of Canada. For the 6th edition of the Night of Ideas, an annual event that encouraged the exchange of ideas and collective reflection in 75 countries and on 5 different continents. The Alliances Françaises of Canada have immersed themselves in this year's theme, Closer. To reflect on this topic, we interviewed many inspiring, bold, and committed Canadian and French personalities. In this 4-part series, recorded during the Night of Ideas in Moncton, people from various backgrounds, artistic, academic, medical, and entrepreneurial, from New Brunswick, Quebec, and France, will share their experience and how digital technologies have played a significant role in their relationship with others. Successes and failures will be discussed, as well as personal stories related to the challenge of maintaining ties in a world where isolation is vital. We'll therefore leave you now in the company of Myriane Ouelette, owner of O Strategies, and our facilitator for the event, Marcel Petitpas, entrepreneur and CEO of Parakeeto. This episode was made possible thanks to the participation of the Alliances Françaises of Moncton, the Ressorgo Place Museum, the Consulate General of France in the Atlantic Provinces, and La Station Workspace, with the support of the French Embassy in Canada and the Institut Français.
Our next panelist is Myriane Ouelette, who is the owner and operator at O Strategies. She has over 12 years of experience in all types of organizations. After completing her bachelor's in business and a master's in public administration, she became an open space technology genuine contact, liberating structures, and art of hosting practitioner. And her keen eye for observation and her strong analytical and organizational strategy development skills allow her to quickly grasp the challenges of her clients in an ever-changing environment. She's as comfortable in a private sector as she is in a small business, a medium-sized business, or even a not-for-profit. And she draws inspiration from the cultures of the organizations she works with and puts them on a growth path by defining their added value. She's passionate about organizational development, open space technology, and the development of collaboration tools. She constantly challenges her expertise and commitment in organizational culture through an ongoing process of training and skill development. And her participation in numerous charity events and board of directors has allowed her to better understand the synergies between the different players of the economic and community development ecosystem. She founded O Strategies in 2019 and has a vision of valuing the contribution of individuals towards the development of our communities. So with all of that, please join me in the chat in welcoming Myriane to the panel.
Oh my gosh, that's such a long bio, Marcel.
It's a long one. I don't know how I read that without making more mistakes. But
I feel like you just didn't breathe at all. Thank you very much. I will share my screen because I guess I have a presentation. All right. Here we go. Here we go. That's not where I want to start. Not at all. What a year. That is where I want to start. Thanks everybody thank you for inviting me to this fuck up night or la nuit des idées. Merci, bonjour tout le monde. My name is Myriane Ouelette. I'm going to share today with you a story about lessons learned with this pandemic, but also this virtual shift to working virtually. But it's also about personal growth. So as Marcel said, I started O Strategies really technically in January 2020. And for those of you that know me, I work in the organizational field. The organizational development field and I've been working as a consultant for the past 15 years. And my idea to create a brand new company came from the need to develop a firm that would address complex issues in society. So including I had questions about how can we work better together and bridge divides? How can we be more agile, lean, and human-centered when we're talking to our members, our clients, our communities? And how might we plan to evaluate our work so that we can have really a sustainable impact in our communities? So turns out the world was about to get way more complex. We're really busy. It's a good thing, but when you're trying to scale a business, it's also super scary. So I took a leap of faith and I hired 2 part-time staff at about 20 hours a week, and they were senior positions, so good paying salaries. And about 2 months in our work together, we started hearing about this coronavirus, and we thought, oh well, it's scary, yeah, but it'll never come to Canada. Well, it did, and boy, were we wrong. And at that time, I was really on a verge of a burnout. I didn't really know it, and you don't know it until it creeps up on you. I was really scared of failing. I started this new business. I was scared of disappointing my family, my community, and it was going really fast. Things were going so fast, too fast. I was carrying tons of pressure and doubting my capacity to balance, that family, work, friends even, and my community involvement. And all the symptoms started piling up. Heart palpitations, kind of what I'm feeling right now. Bad sleeping, really bad eating habits kind of started to settle in. Too much alcohol, too much caffeine, of course. Short temper, and so on and so on. I was just so tired. Not too long after that, the world shut down. We got the news that we're going in lockdown. And all of a sudden, my husband and I were confronted with having to work full-time jobs at home while taking care of and assuring education for a 6-year-old and 4-year-old. That day, my phone was just ringing off the hook. And it's not because I was getting new contracts, oh no. It's because all my clients were telling me that they needed to cease all activities and that our contracts were annulled. That day, I lost about $60,000 of projected revenue. That might not seem that much, but for a tiny business like ours, it's quite a lot of money. And as the main provider of our household, a house in the middle of some serious renovations, 2 cars, 2 kids, and so on, the panic was really starting to, sink in. There's something to be said about grief. You go through the grief cycle and it hits you when you least expect it. I went through this narrative in my head and I feel like it was on repeat. Doomsday has come. The world is ending. How are people going to deal with this? How are we going to survive? Can we survive this as a family? Can my business survive this? Are my clients going to be okay? Am I going to have to get a normal job? Oh, please no, anything but a normal job, That's just me, entrepreneur. And then finally an aha moment, that ray of light. If I can't continue my work, how can I help? So we started booking meetings. I enrolled in some really heavy leadership training and with an incredible program called Genuine Contact. And I met people from all around the world participating on all the online conferences and dialogue events I can find that were talking about complex issues and society shifting. And I was meeting colleagues, friends, and connecting with so much family. And I was speaking a lot with a friend of mine called Jason. And we started working together on maybe finding a solution to help our clients in this time of needs. We have really similar clienteles. And what we found out was that these nonprofit organizations were trying to continue their services, but they just didn't know how to do it virtually. They were struggling. And before the pandemic, most organizations had physical offices with physical things, with employees and physical spaces. And But now, all of a sudden, they were forced to kind of shift to this virtual world and adapt to this virtual environment. But we were working virtually for quite some time now. So we were meeting people from all over the world, like I was saying, and using virtual collaborative spaces, video conferencing, and all those fun tools to connect to people on a very positive and human way. So we wanted to help. So Jason and I offered our first virtual training entitled How to Work Online. In French, it was Animer des rencontres en ligne. So this is kind of the Facebook post that we used. We're so used to having meetings in the workplace around a big conference table where 1, 2, or 3 people are talking and the rest of the people are listening. But in person, you can see these people. You can talk to them. You can talk to them after, before. You can laugh. You can exchange. You can connect afterwards and plan. But when you're collaborating virtually, you can't plan. You need to plan for this. You need to actually fit this into your design when you're designing your meetings. So we were there to show our clients and anybody who wanted to how to do this. And those trainings were sold out right away in 24 hours. And I think we offered like 3 or 4 of those. And in the meantime, I was continuing intensive leadership training to become a genuine contact trainer, which I completed in September. And that summer, something happened. My mindset just shifted. I had like a click. I grew so much, not only professionally, but on a very, very personal level by realizing that, I needed a break. I reconnected with my family, with nature, and with my inner child. And my inner child, I guess, was craving quite a bit of playtime. So through self-love, I became a better leader, a better friend, a better wife, a better mother. I also realized that I needed to communicate with what I truly believe in, which was my work. I needed genuine contact to shine through everything I did. That means having a very human approach and focusing on connection first. I started practicing holistic methods of facilitation and using simple frameworks and tools with deep meaning in my practice and modeling that behavior to clients. It turns out when you connect on a deeper level with the people around the table and you let everybody engage, your meetings are much more efficient. And by connecting with myself, I realized that I didn't have to do this alone. You never realize how lonely it is being a sole proprietor of a business until you do it. So I started talking more and more with Jason. And Jason is an amazing art of hosting, social innovation practitioner, and just an all-around inspiring leader and someone I really connect to on a spiritual level. We've worked together on a few contracts, so we always say that we've kind of dated professionally. And we started talking about how we can join forces again. And after a really inspiring retreat, where we talked about hopes and fears, connected on plans and dreams, we decided to go all in. We became official business partners. Together, we're having our best year ever. So now we have a team of 7, which you now see on the screen, not scream, and we're constantly practicing holistic human ways of working. We have contracts in every province almost in Canada and territory, and we're now reaching out to really interesting international opportunities that can have some serious impact on social change. I'm proud to say that we're realizing our vision and transforming communities and organizations towards a more human way of working. My fuck up was about letting go. Totally. It was totally my issues with control. And in retrospect, I would have put much more trust in the universe. I know it seems really tacky, but I don't know how else to explain it. I truly think that you get what you put into this world. I also learned a big lesson on mental health. I really truly understand now the importance of living a healthy lifestyle and putting aside time for nature, time and friends, and time to myself. I have a lot of people in my family and my entourage that struggle with mental health, and I just never realized how debilitating it can be. It also means putting your trust in others and letting go of others who can support you. I think that's my biggest lesson out of this. So thank you very much. I can't wait for your questions and to chat with everybody later. Thank you, Lauren, for this, for those wonderful, for showing us what you did with Bristurgo, which is just amazing. My kids love going there, and can't wait to hear the next speech.
Awesome. Thank you for vulnerably sharing your experience, Myriane. I'm looking forward to opening things up for questions and taking the discussion further.
We would like to thank Lauren, Myriane, and Leon for sharing their thoughts on this year's Night of Idea theme. We also thank you, the listeners, for taking this time to reflect with us and to move forward with the sharing of ideas. This podcast was produced by the Alliances Françaises of Canada as a part of the 2021 Night of Ideas. If you like this podcast and wish to continue your reflection, don't miss the following episode as well as the roundtable in French, Réinventer les liens par le numérique. And for more inspiring content, be sure to check out the Night of Ideas Canada YouTube channel.